Good morning. We are at Wednesday of the third week of our great penitential season of Lent. And you may recall that for the prior 2 weeks, I have been talking about the elements of what the Church calls the discipline of Lent. 2 weeks ago, I spoke to you briefly about prayer, which is the first and certainly one of the most important of the elements of the discipline of Lent, of which there are 3. Last week I spoke about fasting, works of personal penance, self-mortification, which of course are always a part of Lent, but the Church helps us understand that with prayer, so with fasting and acts of mortification, they can continue to be part of our daily lives of faith. And now this week, the third and final element of the discipline of Lent is almsgiving, works of charity. And usually when we hear that term almsgiving, we immediately think, and it isn't incorrect to think this way, of either making a monetary or a financial donation to a particular charity. But the Church reminds us, and especially through the proper prayers and the readings for Lent that we hear at Mass, whether daily Mass or Sunday Mass, there is something else to almsgiving. And that is what the prophets especially reminded the children of Israel so many times over so many centuries, that what God really wants from us more than anything else is that redressing of the wrongs that happen to people in daily life. The working for just resolutions of disputes, sheltering those who are abused and without the means of defending or helping themselves. And so it's also, besides those material donations we can all certainly make to one degree or another, and I would suggest looking in the Catechism of the Catholic Church and reviewing the corporal and the spiritual works of mercy. These are all part of almsgiving. The Church reminds us that for ourselves, leading a good and upright daily life and setting an example for others by the way we live our good and upright daily life also is important and is of really part and parcel of the discipline of Lent. But as I said earlier, the Church reminds us that what we do in Lent isn't necessarily to stop with Easter Sunday. That what we do in Lent, just as what we did in the Advent season, should really continue on into the Easter season and beyond. In other words, we should be doing in our daily lives of faith what we committed ourselves to doing during the Lenten season. The discipline of Lent is meant to, in a real way, help us rid ourselves of whatever obstacles we've allowed to grow up in our daily lives of faith, those obstacles which keep us from deepening and strengthening our relationship with Almighty God, certainly in our prayer life, in the life of charity that we live toward others, and certainly as we practice a certain type of self-mortification, self-denial. In other words, the discipline of Lent is very much to become part of how we live our Catholic faith from day to day, and it's meant to help us put God first and into clear focus in our daily lives. And so as we continue now with the season of Lent, which is almost half over, let's go back and in our daily lives, look at the discipline of Lent, of prayer, fasting, self-mortification, and almsgiving, and take stock of, have I been doing each of these, and if so, have I been doing my best at my prayer, at my self-mortification, at my works of charity or almsgiving? Or can I do more in order to give honor and glory to Almighty God and strengthen my own relationship with Him as I live my daily life of faith? May God bless you in this Lenten season.